Okay, so today is the Tesla Model 3 collection day. I'm so excited. So let's head off to Trafford Park and go check it out. Okay, so we're in the wife's Mini. Let's go get that Tesla. So we headed down to Trafford Park, which, if you're not familiar, it's actually the home of Coronation Street, BBC, ITV, and of course, Manchester United. Now, Tesla had turned the Victoria warehouse into a temporary Tesla pickup centre for all of the new cars. Due to COVID restrictions, this was a contactless collection. All you do is simply turn up to a porter cabin, hand over your driver's license, and then you're given your keys. We then headed into the warehouse, which is normally a nightclub, so it was really impressive to see all of the Teslas lined up, ready for collection. I mean, what a great space. Okay, so we're looking for the car. I think I found it. There's one over here. So let's go check it out. So after we located the car, I wanted to make sure I gave the car a real thorough look over and check every part. Now, I ordered the black long-range Model 3 with the white interior. What do you think of this combo? Let me know in the comments section below. Now, in this light, it was a little hard to check for any scratches, so I asked if we could drive it outside just to give it a full check. Now, I had heard some horror stories online of dents, broken glass, scuffed interiors, so I wanted to spend a good 45 minutes just checking everything down and making sure that everything was perfect. Now, if you're buying a Tesla, I would recommend definitely using a pickup checklist. I've actually created my own one, and if you want to use that, I'll put a link in the description below so you can download that. You want to make sure you check the entire car for panel gaps, make sure the paint looks good, make sure you don't have any scuffs on your alloys, and just make sure you check all parts of the interior for scuff marks, dents, just anything that you'd like to get fixed before you take it away. Now, I did find a small scratch on the front bumper. Everything else was absolutely perfect, to be honest, and luckily there were no panel gaps at all. So a few people asked about this. This is the Chinese Tesla Model 3, and I can confirm it does have a heated steering wheel, so that's really good. I've never had one before, so it's going to be exciting to see what this brings to driving. Already it is feeling quite nice, quite warm, so just going to leave that on, just make sure the heated seats are working. I can't feel this one getting warm yet, but it's only been on for a second, so we'll test all that out. So I brought the scratch to the attention of one of the friendly staff, and they actually fixed the issue then and there, just took the car around the corner and buffed out the scratch. So after about 45 minutes, I was ready for my first drive. Okay, so just about ready to go in the car. Everything looks really perfect, but there was a little scratch on the bumper. But you know, the customer service here is really good. They actually took the car straight in, buffed it out, and it's looking perfect. So now for the first drive home, let's do it. It's just crazy how quiet this is. It just feels so weird. I'm gonna hit the side there. Yeah, it's just so silent, which is kind of it's kind of weird when you're coming from an F-Type, which is about probably one of the world's loudest cars. When you turn it on, it just revs up like crazy. To go to this, So we're now driving back. I've been told that you have to drive for a little while to allow the cameras to calibrate, so things like autopilot works. I can see a little icon go around here on the screen with like a blue progress bar, so let's see how that works. I'm just going to take it easy. Obviously it's the first time in the car, just that mirror a little bit, but yeah, it feels nice. It's super comfortable, nice and quiet, surprisingly quiet actually. I thought you would hear the road noise a lot more. I'm just going to keep going straight down here. Take a little spin, just make sure it works okay as well. You know, when you're checking a car over, I'm sure it can seem fine once it's stationary, but you know, when it's moving around, you really want to make sure that things sound right, your brakes work. That's one of the things actually, I didn't even think about it, but there's not a dial in front of me, so I've just looked off left to see the speed because I couldn't see that. So I think it's going to take some while to get used to. I did go for a test drive, as you might have seen on the channel, of the performance model, so I'm slightly used to it, but I do think it's going to take some time to really get used to everything being on the left hand side. So it's my first brand new car. I actually came from a Jaguar F-Type, and I'm going to do the full review after a couple of weeks of having the car. I actually want to charge it a few times, see what it's like before I put that full review up. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see that. I'll also be looking at some possible accessories that I might put on the car, as like screen protectors, optional chargers. The other thing as well, I'm not going to be able to charge from home. My driveway is too long. I have to park on the street. So if you want to see how I get along with just public charging, that's going to be interesting. So keep a lookout on the channel for those type of videos too. Luckily, I do have two 50 kilowatt BP pulse chargers just over the road. So I think I should be able to survive on those. Just, walk over or drive over, leave the car there, leave it on charge for about 30 to 40 minutes. And walk back, and it should be fully charged, hopefully from like 20 or 30%. I'm also going to do another video on free charging. There's quite a lot of ways to get free charging, and I'm not talking about the referral links that you can get. I'm talking about actual kind of free chargers around different cities and towns. So I'm going to do a video all about these kind of things. So if you're enjoying this video, make sure you keep a lookout for that. So it's a very comfortable car to drive. That was one thing with the F-Type. It was not really very comfortable for long drives. The seats were very hard. The car's very noisy. Really fun for short little bursts. But, when I do these long drives from Manchester back to Norfolk, where I'm from, it does get a little bit frustrating. I'm going to come off here, and then we're going to get onto the M60 and sort of take it around for a bit of a faster drive. One thing that takes a little while getting used to is this regen braking, because it is quite intense. It is like someone is putting their foot on the brake, and it's definitely hard to get used to because you don't really need to use the brake. It's that strong, and it's worth doing because of course it will recharge your battery a little bit. But yeah, it certainly takes some getting used to. So it looks like autopilot has just turned on. The cameras are now calibrated, and I can confirm I can now see all of the car visualizations on the M60, which is cool. It's also showing the speed limit as well. So I'm going to turn this on for the first time. Please keep your hands on the wheel, which I'm going to do. It's so weird, autopilot. I'm really looking forward to this on long journeys. I do a 5-hour journey from Manchester to Norfolk to see my parents. My brother and sister-in-law live in Chichester, which is again another 5 hours. My wife's dad lives in Middlesbrough, which is a couple of hours. So I always have quite long journeys to do. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how autopilot does on those long journeys. I think it's going to take some of the stress out of driving, especially when you've had a long day at work or it's just kind of like bad weather. So I'm looking forward to that. So far it seems so good. It isn't that twisty, and the markings are very good on this road, but so far it looks like it's doing a pretty good job. It does feel a bit scary because naturally I would keep a little bit more to the right here. It feels like it gets quite close to the cars on the left. I don't know if that's something that improves over time, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I've been driving around for a bit, absolutely loving it so far. I'm now going to drive home. I'll give you a few more shots of the car, but if you want to see the full review, when you subscribe, just make sure you hit that notification bell and you'll be notified of when the review goes live in about a week or two's time. Within that time, I'm going to put a couple of other videos up about the things you should do when you first get your Tesla, some of the things I find out. So keep it locked on the channel if you want to see those videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.